Birthing Kit's a purpose-driven organisation, work in about 20 countries, with around 40 global partners. We do a variety of things, but our central work, the foundation of our foundation, if you will, is an essential birthing kit or a clean birthing kit. It's a really simple tool that has some basic elements that enable a woman when she's giving birth to give birth in a more safe environment. Those kits are actually put together by community partners across Australia, so about 20,000 Australian volunteers every year. We deliver those kits to our partners, so we have partners on the ground in each of those countries that we work, and they are local community members all over the African continent, some parts of Latin America, right through Asia, Central and Southeast Asia, and in the Pacific Islands as well. We also now work a lot around education, around some broader health outcomes, and around economic empowerment, particularly of women themselves. That growth has happened as a result of partners communicating back to us some of their challenges and us looking together at what we might create. And having a commitment to partnership and having a code that keeps us true to that, keeps us accountable to that, makes sure that we always have other people's perspectives driving and pushing our own, and that we also play our role in contributing our perspective in other people's picture. We put a call out every year through our network of relationships in the places around the world that we work, and we invite people to let us know, to apply to be part of our program, to apply to become a partner of ours. And we have an application process that actually has a number of stages. So there are some pragmatic things that we look for, but we have some things in check that we need to see from that organisation. And if they're not there, or if there's anything in that process that concerns us, then we do have some templates, things that we look at, and we start to assess that. In the minority of cases, if there's something concerning from a part of the planet we can't be, then yes, we'll say no and we'll just move on. But the partnerships we're really interested in are the ones where we and them and the communities we both care about are in a really good, strong three-way bond, and we're clear about how we're going to work together. That's far richer. We're far more interested in those kind of relationships. Within Birthing Kit Foundation, we have staff who are dedicated. Their role is entirely around partnership management. That small staff group starts to then look at our applications that come in. They communicate back and forward with organisations around the world. They start to ask questions of them, and together start to assess, is there a good fit here? It takes quite a bit of work. We have quite a bit of focus at a number of times during the year, purely at looking at an intake of new applications or interest for partnership, and also doing some work to think about, assess, reflect, measure our current partnerships as well. We've got partners that have been in relationship with us for over a decade, but the type of focus areas that we're working on have shifted across that spectrum. A classic example of that is a group in India, in the region of Tamil Nadu, which is southern India, and a woman called Victoria that I had the pleasure of meeting last year. Victoria has been working with our organisation for many years, 7, 8, 9 years. When it started, it was around these essential birthing kits, and we provided kits to her organisation, and she delivered them to pregnant women at the time of birth. Then some years ago, the maturity of what she was doing really changed, and they were understanding some of the needs for education, broader health outcomes, business and enterprise, economic empowerment of these communities. And so, again, led by her response to her community, we partnered up with some broader initiatives that were far more around addressing those needs together. And we recognised that it was actually Victoria and her team and her staff and all of the volunteers that she worked with and her community that were actually the ones that were doing the great impact. And our role as a partner was far more to be a catalyst and to be a support and to be a resource and to learn together about how we can improve what we do. And some of the projects that we started up together, they're not doing anymore because the community's outgrown their need for it. And so the program has changed. It grew quite large, but then it shifted its focus, and that happened entirely as a result of the partner themselves driving and communicating to us and bringing to us what was needed at the time, and us then starting to do that co-creation work together rather than us pushing our agenda. World Vision are one of our largest global field partners, and so in some very, very hard to reach places where there's conflict, where there's emergency, where there's natural disaster, where there might be refugee camps, displaced people, World Vision have been amazing at really their recommitment to the focus on those high need areas. So our partnership revolves around women and community members and young babies in those very, very extreme, very high need areas, very hard to reach complex areas. And there are up to 40,000 women every year that we've partnered to reach that just would not be reached in any other way. There are many examples. One of them is in the country of Ethiopia. So one of the things that we are learning in that partnership in a particular locality in Ethiopia is that it's really important that the community members themselves also have the ability to earn money, to create micro businesses and to not just receive charity, to not just receive aid. And so what's happening in one of the programs that we're learning with them is instead of us sending them only the birthing kits that have been put together by the Australian volunteers here, we're actually working with them so that local community members can set up their own little business and start to create and make essential clean birthing kits locally. And so to actually get all the elements and materials from local suppliers and improve that local economy, and so that some of the, again, mostly women involved in that can learn new skills, and then seeing how that might be an ongoing business, or the skills that they learn could be applied to an ongoing business. It started out informally many years ago, the process that partners use to give feedback to us, and then it formalised over time. It got more professional, and so now there are forms. Of course, we've worked on our policies and a whole framework which organisations like ours love to talk about, and they exist for a reason. They're really important. They're the guidelines, they're the fence, I suppose, on the outside of the playing field that we all need to be understand are there. And we need to check how we're going with that. Partnership has to be mutual. We need to grow and learn and ask questions of ourselves. So our documents have become clearer, but we're recognising that we need to ask riskier questions, bigger questions, more open questions. And that's been the transformation for us. One of the big shifts that we're making right now in partnership, of course, is partnering and getting feedback and insight from the community members and the end user of our program itself. That's our great challenge now. Now we're working really intentionally to partner with our organisations on the field together through them to then start to listen to and talk to and ask questions of the women, the community members, the healthcare workers, the professionals, the government themselves. So, and it's transforming the relationship from a relationship of organisation to organisation to a relationship that's far more focused on individuals all over the world. That's not easy to do. It's easy to talk about the value of partnership, and it's easy to talk about policies, but we're really challenging ourselves to jump into the complexity of doing that in a way that really empowers those individuals all over the world that we are there for.